When I think of body image, I think a lot about how I talk to myself, because there are so many influences that absolutely speak into it. I think the worst one in my life, at least, is me. It's me in the mirror, like mentally circling the areas that I would like to swap out with someone that I see on Instagram or in magazines. And it's something that I'm working on. I feel like I've gotten better at it. I had a friend, Danielle, who wrote a great post about this. We're going to include it down below if you want to read that post. But she talked about her lifelong struggle with body image, and what really changed it for her was when she had a daughter. And of course, with having a daughter came along the things of like, okay, well now my body's not back to what it was. But then she looked over at her daughter playing on the floor. She's like, I don't want that life for her. And I think of my potential kids someday. I don't want them to watch me in the mirror saying, I need to be wearing more makeup. This shirt does not look good on me. Not the shirt doesn't fit, but the shirt does not look good on me. I'm so ugly, whatever. I don't want them copying that. So if I don't want them copying that, I have to start being kind to myself today.
Yeah, and other people's words just stick to us. I don't know about you guys, but I had this deep conversation the other day where I just started thinking about, well, what are the things that have been said to me over the years that I have let stay with me? Because you don't forget comments that people make. Whether it was my parents in a moment of weakness or a classmate or whoever, I've always felt heavier than I've wanted to be. I've always felt in some ways uglier than I wanted to be. And some of those things, it's like you almost have to write them down or verbalize them to then say, these aren't going to be attached to me anymore. Like, these are not who I am. They have nothing to do with who Joy is. It's not my identity. And something that I think we've all talked about before is that there's this false, like, ideal body image that we would want, and we often don't feel like we're it, when the truth is, like, we're all made different. Like, every single one of us sitting here, we have a different body shape, and there's nothing wrong with it because we were kind of made that way.
Yeah, one of my biggest insecurities has always been my height. I'm 6 foot. So imagine in high school when you're outgrowing your boyfriends, and like I developed like quite the slump. And I realized, like, God did not make me to walk through life like this. Like, that's not carrying his word and joy and love into the world. I also think of like Esther in the Bible, and you know, she was created for such a time as this. And I was talking to Joy about this the other day. I truly believe the things that we perceive as flaws, the things that we are born with, the things that God has gifted us with, that can be used in the most powerful way for his kingdom. So if we're trying to get rid of our curves, our hair color, our eye color, whatever it is, the things we're trying to get rid of could be the thing that he uniquely created us to use to impact someone else's life or even the world.
Oh, for sure. And I don't know if you remember this, but when we were doing a subject on the Wally Show, there was one day, I forget what the subject was, but this woman called in and she said that she dealt with arthritis in her ankles or something. And so she would get on the elevator, and she was a bigger girl. She'd get on the elevator and she felt like she had to explain to everybody that was on the elevator why she wasn't taking the stairs, because people were probably silently judging her. And so it was because, well, she actually physically can't go up the stairs.
Yeah.
But that just opened my eyes to thinking how all of us are thinking, we're always putting ourselves down. We're putting these thoughts in other people's heads that they might not even be having. You know? Like, I know that Bekah and I have even talked on the show about how you'll go into American Eagle and you feel so out of place.
Oh yeah.
You're like,
I will not go into Hollister. I just saw it the other day and I was like, I don't belong in there. I was like, better go to JCPenney's.
Like all these millennials are like, oh
honey.
I'm
a millennial too.
And they're probably not. They're probably like, is this on sale?
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you judging me for being in here?
Well, you mentioned a quote that you actually have in your mirror right now as you try to speak truth into yourself.
Practically one of the things that I do to like go after my body image and a lot of the lies that float around is I write stuff on my mirror. Sometimes it's Bible verses, sometimes it's quotes, sometimes it's just like, you are beautiful just as you are. It's whatever I'm struggling with right then. And I heard this quote from Rachel Hollis, and it is, let me see if I can remember it properly. It is, other people's opinions of you are none of your business. And I have that written there right now. And it has taken that conversation of, I wonder what those people are thinking about me, down to it doesn't matter what they're thinking about me.
Even if they are judging.
Yeah, they may not be thinking anything, but if they are judging me, it's none of my business. Like, I'm responsible for me to God, not for how other people might see me. So my identity can't be touched by what other people think about the way I look, the way I come across, my body. So I'm trying to deal with how I view my body and then not worry about how other people do. But what about for you guys? What are tangible things that you do to like try to address your body image stuff?
I had a piece of advice that was given to me from a friend that she said, almost like, speak to yourself in third person. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's like when I don't know about y'all, but when I address myself, if I'm thinking about, I'm my worst critic. I'm like, oh, that looks horrible. You should, why did you even wear that out today? You know, but she said, well, speak to yourself in third person. Like, do you really think someone would say that to you? Like, do you think your close friend would say that to you? No. So then why are you saying it to yourself? Treat yourself better. Like, treat yourself the way you know your close friends would. And that has helped me so much.
I think it's also something where you can have an accountability partner on this. Just last night, it's so funny. We had already talked about this topic, knew what we were gonna say. And I was getting ready for bed and I made some comment about like some weight that I put on recently. And I was like, Mom, so dumpy. And my husband's like, say something nice or I'm not letting you go to bed.
Whoa.
And I had to say
Aggressive love.
something nice, but it worked. Like, it was like just that, like, oh, reset. I needed that like wake up call, because sometimes you get in that pattern of just being negative, and pretty soon you don't realize you're doing it, but that's what you're speaking into your life. I also think about, just as we wouldn't want our daughters to copy our habits, like our Heavenly Father is looking at us and He's the one that made us fearfully and wonderfully. And I know that He doesn't want us to talk to ourselves like that. And He doesn't want that to be our identity, these negative things that we label ourselves with.
The first time I realized that is when I read, I think it's Psalm 139 that comes from. I was probably in junior high, and reading that I was fearfully and wonderfully made, I was like frustrated at it. I'm like, this is wonderfully made. This isn't what I want to look like. I don't feel wonderfully made. And then after that, it says, my works are wonderful. I know that full well. So the truth is, if God made us exactly how we are, I could lose all the weight in the world and I'm always going to have hips because that's the way I'm designed. And I don't like that, but I'm trying to go, okay, God, if you made me and I look in the mirror and I say negative things about myself, I'm saying negative things about what you've done, and you've already called me wonderful. You've already said that over my life. And so I think, the beginning of the world's biggest small group, we talked about who I am as a child of God. So if you're created and loved by God, that's our identity. Like, our body image has nothing to do with that. We got to separate them as best we can.
So what does the Help Finder Bible say about self-esteem? In Psalm 139:13, it says, "You made all the delicate inner parts of my body and knit me together in my mother's womb." Your identity is not based on superficial factors like your work, wealth, or lifestyle, but on the truth that you are loved by God, blessed by God, and anointed for a special purpose.